Hey everyone, it's a podcast. I'm Nintendo, son, also known as Ethan.
I'm Winless Zephyr. Mac. Yo.
And I'm Taylor.
I did hand motions to that and I realized no one would see them. I pointed towards my camera and then I pointed back at myself.
Good job.
Yeah!
I waved hi. I'm eating
Congratulations.
nachos.
I readjusted my webcam that I'm not even using.
We're breaking fourth walls, which people can't see.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Isn't that the point of a fourth wall? Unless you're reading Homestuck. But otherwise, yeah. Sorry.
Well,
They're like
we're actually talking to people who are listening to this. Therefore, are we truly breaking a fourth wall? And if so, what is our fourth wall?
Well, my room has 4 walls, so, anyway.
Let's break the fourth one? Well,
That sounds like a bad idea. I'm on the top floor of a 12-story building.
I have 5 walls. Which one should I break?
There are some walls, ceilings. Wait,
How is this
just
relevant?
one ceiling.
I don't even.
What? What do you mean going even? That's red versus blue.
Just don't even.
Don't even everything.
Catching on to some of Tumblr's popular phrases. I shouldn't be.
Alright, so we have a list for this one, and pretty much we're going to go from the top of the list and go through it because we've already kind of discussed them. We're going to go with non-video game topics first because that's the least thing that we're going to talk about, seeing this is supposed to be a video game related podcast.
Oh then.
Yeah, so the first one has to do with the presidency. I mean, we were gone for 4 weeks, so Obama's going to be president for 4 more years.
Whoa.
Woo! Politics. I really quit paying attention about halfway through.
I hated both of them.
It took you to halfway?
No.
Stop paying attention before they even campaigned.
Yep.
Sorry. Let me fix that. Halfway of the Republican.
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, like halfway, I'm just like, this person and this person and this person is in.
Yeah, a lot of my friends gave me a lot of flack for deciding not to vote because most of the people I know are still too young for it.
I didn't have time
So,
to
they won't get to vote for the president for another, 4 years. Whereas I had the opportunity this time, and I'm just like,
Whatever.
I mean, I recognize that we all have a civic duty to vote because, you live in this country, you get some freedoms here, you might as well at least pretend that you don't take them for granted. But I don't really want to vote for a lesser of two evils, I guess. Which is like voting for any person in any office ever in this country. There's no good candidates.
I don't think that voting for president is quite something that's worth voting for. I mean, honestly, people will think that, voting for president is everything, but all your vote does is it sways an electoral college's vote one way. They can totally ignore what people think, just kind of like when Bush won presidency. According to all the votes, when they were tallied up, Bush wouldn't have won, but with all the electoral colleges, they swung towards Bush.
Right. Well, that's the whole popular versus electoral college. I mean, I didn't pay much attention when we went over why we have an electoral college in my government class. So.
Oh, I don't really think we went over why we have an electoral college in our class. We only learned why there is. Well, not why, what it is.
We went through all that stuff quite in detail. We even went into the history of America's political system, and after sitting through that and AP US history, I'm just like, politics. I'm going to leave them to the people who really care.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can see how voting for certain things have an effect, but voting for president isn't quite one of those things.
You know what's interesting about that, though, is that the presidential election has the highest voter turnout rate of any other elections out there in this country.
Yeah, and sadly it has no effect.
Which is sad, because the highest turnout rate should be for local elections, because, they directly affect you regardless.
Yeah, but that's like a percentage thing. I mean, if you go into percentages, then sure, probably local something is more, but if you're talking about just number of people, it should be presidency.
Percentages, the presidential election by far is much greater turnout.
Still?
But it's still lower than it
was
like a few decades ago, so. I don't know.
Yeah.
Politics. What do you think?
A lot more.
Vote? Oh wait, you can. You're older than me.
Yeah, Taylor can vote.
Did you vote?
Yep.
Taylor, did you vote?
What?
Did he vote? No.
No.
Why not? Did either of you vote?
Really? You're wondering why he didn't vote and you didn't vote. Way to go.
I'm like a naturally apathetic person.
I didn't vote because I wasn't registered and I didn't have time to register, plus I now live in Oregon.
Oh, well, that'll do it.
So yeah, that was my reasons behind not voting this year. Is I wouldn't have been able to register in time in order to vote. I mean, sure, I could have done it like during the very beginning, but by the time that I knew that it was voting, then it was already too late.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do it.
Well then, we have nothing else to say on politics, and I really don't care much.
I don't care much either. Another thing, which is kind of politics related, this is more like what do you honestly think, and that is both sides, and that's Republicans and Democrats, agree that if I can freaking remember the name of the territory, Puerto Rico. Yeah, Puerto Rico can now decide for itself whether it wants to become a state or not. So it's no longer decided towards us whether we think Puerto Rico should be a state.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So
Puerto Ricans for the longest time didn't want to be a state.
Yeah.
For various reasons.
And then keep going.
I guess they do now. I don't know. I watched a video that went by Hank Green that went more into detail on the whole Puerto
The only problem is Puerto Ricans want to become a state now, but the current governor of Puerto Rico, because it's still qualified as a governor when it's a territory, he does not want to become one of the states.
Well, the governor shouldn't have the final say in that. I mean, they may be a territory, not a state, but it's still a democracy. If they put him in, then they can also vote to make their own, territory a state.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that process actually works because we've never been in that sort of situation.
We haven't done that in 53 years.
Alaska and Hawaii.
3 years.
Yeah.
1949 is the last one. I think it was Alaska.
So it's been a while, but no. If Puerto Rico does become a state, a lot of things in Congress are gonna have to change.
Oh, I've seen designs for the new American flag if they become a state. Have you seen them?
Mm-mm.
They look really cool. The stars, they're not like in all a rectangular thing anymore. It's like a big circle. It's so cool.
Yeah, I can see that. That's actually pretty cool.
I would kind of like that just because I'm kind of sick of seeing the American flag the way it is now.
Oh,
and I cannot wait to see the big-ass hassle in American classrooms if the flag is changed to get new flags.
That would be funny.
That would be.
They would
American flag industry would change just because it'd be. I don't know. It sounds funny, like fun from an economical standpoint.
I don't think schools and government properties won't have shovels. I think it's like other things, like someone who owns an American flag because like they have one outside their house because they're for the government and all that stuff. But they might have troubles getting one, but I'm pretty sure they'll just mass produce them and then ship them to schools.
Well,
and government buildings. So that won't be quite a problem, but there is definitely a lot of flags to be changed if that happens.
Oh, of course. But regardless, I have very little opinions on the whole Puerto Rico thing because I've never even been farther east than Colorado, and that was when I was born. So I don't know jack shit about most states in this country.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I would like it because I'm sick and tired of seeing our current flag, but I don't think that should be the sole reason.
Like get a state just for aesthetic reasons.
Yep.
Well, I guess that's kind of. Some could view that as belittling the whole political system, but I don't. Whatever.
Or we need a few state together so that way we have less stars, so that way it's more simplistic.
Yeah, or you know what we could do? We could just split Washington in half.
That'll give us one more star though.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the political makeup of Washington State, west side is all liberal, right side is all conservative.
This is the reason why what they truly need to do, they need to take Oregon and Washington, they need to split them right down, well, pretty much the center, because the mountains are pretty close to center. Just split them right down the center, take the right-hand side, make them one state, and take the left-hand side, make it another state. But the argument's going to be, which state is going to be called what? I'm pretty sure the people from Oregon still want to call it Oregon, and the people from Washington would still want to call it Washington.
Well, I guess, Washington State University would become Indecisive State University. That'd be pretty funny, actually. I would love to go to that school. Decisive State University.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah. And then the other non-video game related news, and that is the fact that Hostess Twinkies has gone out of business.
Yes, it has.
Not Twinkies, Hostess.
Hostess.
Hostess, which sucks. Taylor, just a quick question. Do you have any Twinkies left in?
No, I didn't. I don't know. I've heard that people actually went to the store and bought as many as they could.
Yes.
Somebody put some Twinkies up for sale on eBay, and they ran upwards of like $1,500. No. It was well over $15,000 for like a few Twinkies.
Damn.
Wow.
Okay, so
I'm just sitting over here like little Debbie FTW.
No, I went to a store and then I was trying to find some Twinkies just because, I heard that it went out of business, and that was like 3 days afterwards. So I was thinking, okay, there at least has to be like 1 or 2 Twinkies left. The store, all of their Twinkies were gone within 3 hours.
You know what's really sad about this? Is a lot of people are like, oh no, I'm going to miss my Twinkies or my Hostess brand ding dongs. But I sound so funny saying that, Hostess brand ding dongs. But anyway, a lot of people don't consider the fact that Hostess just laid off a whole bunch of workers.
Yeah, but
It's like, Americans are sad because they're missing their delectably, overly, nastily, deliciously food things. I don't want to call them food because they're not, but
snack cakes.
Whatever. But a lot of people are just they're just ignoring the fact that Hostess executives were being bitches and they laid off a bunch of employees and
Yeah, but you can also blame the employees because the reason that they went out of business is because there was a baker strike and they wanted a fairly large increase in pay, so they were no longer able to pay the employees for the amount that they wanted.
That's why they went out of business?
Yeah, that's why they went out of business. Is because the workers' baker strike went against the business, and finally they came to an agreement, but they didn't realize that it was going to be too much. This isn't the only reason that they went out of business, because the executive before this current one tripled his pay. So there is many decisions along the line of Hostess's business that got it to quit, but this was kind of the latest big one.
Of course, but it sounds to me like the only people that are at fault are the executives.
No.
The employees went on strike because, you don't go on strike just because you arbitrarily want more money. You go on strike because you need better benefits, or you need better work hours, or you need a better salary.
Yeah.
So if it was agreed to that, they come to some whatchamacallums.
Form of agreement?
No, the word's on the compromise. You come to some compromises, and, that all seems fine and great, but then all of a sudden it stops working right.
Yeah.
Who's at fault?
It's both. Honestly, it's both.
I don't think so, but whatever. Matter of opinion.
But a good thing is, a company down in Mexico is actually planning on buying Hostess and selling their stuff.
Huh. Well then.
Yeah. So
I don't eat Hostess stuff anyway. Honestly. I find their food to be pretty nasty.
I've had it every once in a while and I enjoy it when I do.
Right.
Oh yeah. I don't know. That's Hostess. And I think that's it for non-video game related stuff. So honestly, I think what we'll do is we will quit right here. Don't worry, there will be a second part of the podcast, but because we still haven't quite hit that,
you can go above 15 minutes for your video.
Upload past 15 minutes for the videos, which they should no longer have as a thing because that really ticked me off when I was first doing YouTube.
There are reasons for it.
I don't find reasons for it. Because think of it, anyone can get it nowadays. So, whatever. This will be it. Don't worry. We'll link the next video. So, we will see you in the next one.